would mind start letting people in as we go through the presentation. And I'm going to share my screen with you guys. So good afternoon, all. I'm Kelly Trumel with the Office of Contracting and Procurement. And on behalf of our Chief Procurement Officer, Ms. Sandra Starr, I'd like to welcome you to this pre-proposal meeting for artificial intelligence, AI, training for public health. See if I can get my screen. Hopefully everyone can see my screen. And for those that are just joining, this segment is being recorded. Our agenda today is, and I probably should do this in read only. Sorry. Okay, that's probably a little better. Okay, our agenda today, we have representatives here from the health department. There may even be a representative here from our technology department. I'll let them introduce themselves in just a second, but I would kindly ask that all participants, respondents, if you could just include the name and the name of your company in the chat so that we could have a record of your attendance. We're not going to go around because there's way too many of you guys, and I'm not going to take up all of your time. So if you could put that information in the chat, that would be great. We're going to kind of go over some housekeeping, our timelines for this particular project, review the background and the description, which I will kindly hand over to our health department affiliates so that they can briefly go over that with you. And then we will have a question and answer session. So going ahead and getting started. So the artificial intelligence AI training for public health was published on August the 20th. This is a request for proposal. The question deadline is September 12th at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That means I need all of your questions in Oracle by 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you are a registered vendor with Oracle, you shouldn't have any problem, but I would strongly suggest that you go in and check your supplier profile to ensure that you are logged in the correct time zone. Sometimes the system gets a little wonky and they will put you in Central Time or Mountain Time or I don't know, Afghanistan time. And please note that unfortunately, if that were to happen, your bid would come in late and I would not be able to accept it. So please go ahead and make sure that you have that together. If you are not registered as a vendor in Oracle, we need you to go out and do that. I will put something in the chat so that you can access where you can go out for supplier assistance on the City of Detroit's website under procurement/supplier. I'll put that information in the chat so that you can access it. There's a lot of great webinars and there are some ways that you can schedule one-on-one sessions with our e-procurement team that will assist you with your bidding, your registration, invoicing, and you'll also be able to see other bidding opportunities available out there. This proposal is due on September 23rd at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the work schedule is pending City Council approval. As mentioned before, this call is being recorded. What we do with these pre-recorded calls is we upload them on YouTube. So if you or one of your fellow people in your organization happen to miss this, they can access it on YouTube, and we have those available through social media as well. All bidders are encouraged to ask questions. We ask that you either enter them in the chat or when we open up the session for question and answers, you'll be able to raise your hand and we can address them. However, please note that we are happy to respond to your questions during this session. However, if you're looking for a binding response, we will need for you to submit those questions through the Oracle Messenger system, and then we will submit the responses after the question deadline in the form of an addendum. We have received several questions already. We have, if you've uploaded questions into Oracle, I think I've received some from maybe about 4 respondents. We have those questions. We're currently working on those, and I anticipate that we'll have a response for you by Monday or Tuesday of next week. If you are not registered, as I mentioned before, in Oracle, in order to respond to this solicitation, you definitely need to register in Oracle. And again, I will put that information in the chat for you while our health department is discussing this, the solicitation. And I must remind everyone that all communications during the open solicitation must be filtered through the Office of Contracting and Procurement. That would be me. If you have conversations outside of that, it could result in a rejection of your proposal or disqualification of your proposal. One last thing before I go forward. Again, we are looking at evaluating proposals. It is based off an evaluation criteria. The criteria consist of the introduction and solution / approach, meaning your curriculum, training materials, how you would propose to offer the best solution for what we're looking for. It's worth 25 points. We're looking at experience, qualifications, and references. That's worth 25 points. Accessibility, implementation, including any software if applicable, that's worth 25 points. And pricing. So totaling up, this is worth 100 points toward the evaluation. In order for us to even review your qualifications and consider you as a qualifying respondent, you must be able to provide proof that you have provided this type of work within the last 3 years. And you can provide those references in the attachment A questionnaire. You also must provide some type of proof of a HIPAA certification. Again, I apologize because I think I had an extra P in the initial qualification and not enough A's, but hopefully I revised and made those corrections, and the updated response is back in Oracle. So at this time, I know I spouted out a lot of information. At this time, I'd like to turn this over to our health department representatives for introduction and to move into the background of this solicitation.
Thank you, Kelly. So first, I want to thank all of you for joining us for our pre-proposal conference for the artificial intelligence training request for the Detroit Health Department. My name is Leah Smith. I'm the Director of Administrative Operations. I'm joined on the call today by Dr. Alicia Farr. She is our Workforce Development Director. Miss Christina Floyd, she is our Deputy Director. And Miss Jacqueline Eckel, she is our Purchasing Manager. And that is the primary team who will be working with OCP and evaluating your proposals as they come in. So for this request, what the health department is looking for is in-person virtual options that are interactive for AI training related to public health. So what we're looking for is a training program that is developed, implemented, and can evaluate a comprehensive AI training curriculum for all of our directors, managers, and senior leadership team in collaboration with Dr. Farr. Dr. Farr, if you can just like wave your hand so people know. Thank you. And these will be held in person and virtual. Some of the workshops that we're looking to have included would be introductions to artificial intelligence, best practices for AI usage in public health, AI compliance and HIPAA regulations. We're also asking that you develop an organizational approach for implementing a department-wide AI assessment, and then how to monitor AI integration with performance management. We're also asking for the proposals to include the facilitation and development of an organizational-wide AI policy. That's something that you would work with Dr. Farr and the health department's health information officer and the city's Department of Innovation and Technology on. So we could, apply that department-wide. We're also looking to have a proposal that includes follow-up and technical assistance to staff throughout the course. So we're not looking necessarily for a course where it's one and done, looking for something more interactive where maybe part of it is self-paced, part of it is in a group setting. And it should also include hard copies and electronic copies of any training materials that are used. We're also asking you to do a presentation of the findings from the assessment and the AI policy draft to the health department directors, senior leadership team, and managers. We'd also like you to gather final feedback from the people who participate in the training to ensure that the training met all of the needs as outlined by the staff. We'd also ask for a final presentation of anything of the work product findings and the plan forward to my colleagues and our chief public health officer. And then in 3 to 6 months after the initial sessions are completed, we would ask that a follow-up session is held so we can ensure that the policy is being implemented effectively and that the performance management is being monitored appropriately with AI usage. Dr. Farr, do you have anything else that you would like to add?
No, we thank you for your interest in this opportunity.
Thanks, Kelly.
No problem. Thank you. That was extremely thorough. At this time, if you have questions, please by all means raise your hand or you can drop them in the chat. I have put the link to the supplier, the City of Detroit's supplier information in the chat for you guys to get. And again, this will be it will be uploaded on YouTube. So we have a question from Lisa.
Hey, good afternoon. This is Lisa Yerke from Trace 3. I'm the proposal analyst over here. I did see in the portal that you guys had put in some revised forms. Are you able to tell us what was changed, or are we just supposed to use those new 4 forms that were dropped in there?
Okay, so I can speak to that. I don't remember any new forms. The only revised form was the RFP itself because there were a couple of typos and some additional language. If you look where it says addendum, addendum 1, I listed exactly what changed and what sections were changed. So hopefully that helps.
Was that marked on the new RFP form, or did you attach an additional addendum? Okay, because I didn't see an additional addendum. So when it asked me to
when the addendum comes through, it's not a document. When the addendum comes through, it says amendment, and in the amendment information, it identifies what exactly was amended in the RFP.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Do we have any other questions?
There's some questions in the chat.
Okay. Since this is primarily a training and consultation service RFP, what does HIPAA certification look like? Do you have any examples?
So that is something that I can speak to, Kelly. Thank you. So we require all of our contractors to be HIPAA certified because at any point you could be looking at PHI or protected personal information due to the nature of our work. However, in order to better answer your question, we'll pose that to our chief information officer and then get back to you.
Leah, I asked that question. This is Nebu Kolencherry from Flourish and Thrive Labs. So if you're asking that question, would you also, like I imagine they want a BAA signed. So would you include that as well if we have to directly sign a BAA with y'all? Thank you.
So just so that you are aware, we have received that question as well. as one of the responses that we will submit to everyone that, provide visibility to everyone within the group after the question deadline. So that question is a part of the questions that we are going to do a deeper dive and provide a more formal response to. Next question was, do we need to fill the reference form for all 3 references required from Prime and 1 reference from subcontractors provided in attachment A? So yes, you do need to fill out all references if you have them. And if you are using a subcontractor, we would like as many references as possible, but at least 1 reference for that subcontractor. Think about it. That's the best way for us to find out what type of company you are and how you do business with, people for this type of work. So, we would definitely look for references. Let's see. Will you consider working with an out-of-state company, assuming that they come on site for the in-person training and activities? Well, by us being a municipality, we're not closing off any opportunities for anyone. I believe this is grant funded, so local preferences are not applicable for this. We definitely would welcome that, but I would strongly encourage that your rates be inclusive of any lodging or travel, hoteling, in-person sessions, that they are inclusive and that you provide us with as much detail for the training as possible within your proposal. Remember, this is a proposal. So we have an idea of what we would like, but if you think you have a better idea that would be a good fit for us, by all means, show us what you're working with. Let's
Great,
see.
thank you.
Let's see, pricing sheet. Well, I saw some hands before I saw these others. So, Sean Flowers. Sean, going once. You're on mute.
I had a question in the chat.
Okay. Well, let's see. Flowers. Will Department of Defense HIPAA certifications count? We have them from other organizations we work with.
My initial response, Sean, is yes, but I will confirm that with our Chief Information Officer and get back to you.
Next question.
Okay, thanks. Just doubling down on that, is there like a specific certification that you guys are looking for the business to have, or like with the HIPAA, or is it just like, is there a certain name for it or anything like that, just to get a general understanding?
No, we ask all of our contractors to be HIPAA compliant and have HIPAA compliant software because of the nature of our work, and we're dealing with a lot of protected health information and protected personal information. And so based on some of the other questions that have been asked during this session, I'm going to circle back with our Chief Health Information Officer and be able to better answer that question. Christina, do you have something to add?
Yes, really quick. As long as the HIPAA compliance that certifications that you have are in compliance with high tech as well, we would honor that as well, but we'll definitely make sure to get with our health information officer. But if it's in compliance with high tech, you are on the right track.
Got it. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Next question that I saw was the pricing sheet. References certification programs, professional courses. How should we provide pricing for AI assessment, organizational-wide AI policy, and integrating AI into your performance management? I would assume that you would provide us with the information listed on the pricing sheet. When we talk about certification programs, that speaks for itself. If it's a certified program, then we would like you to identify it. We're looking for professional courses as well as leadership courses, meaning executive level. So we may need training for our chiefs, our directors, all the way down to division managers or actual employees, depending on that. So however it is that you provide your courses and you identify the levels, then that's what we would ask you to provide. If you have additional services that are outside of that fee schedule that we provided, by all means, attach them within your proposal so that we could take a look at those as well.
Mr. Malta, just to confirm, the pricing sheet specifically asks for those three things, but during the presentation of the public health department referenced that they wanted an AI organizational assessment, a policy, and then integration. So should we just add those services and say this is what they're?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. So please understand, we don't know what this looks like. We're depending on you as experts to provide us with what this looks like. We have standard of what we would ask for if we were looking for any type of training or course information. But by this being such a new field, there is not a lot of information that is available. So we're depending on you as the subject matter experts to wow us with your proposals and give us the information we're looking for. I will say this much. Just as a rule of thumb, proposals that are well written and under 100 pages are often well received versus those that are 500 and 600 pages. Those kind of get skimmed over. So well written, under 100 pages, proposals that go straight to the core of what it is that you're identifying and you would like us to see. Those, we love those. I'll put it like that. Okay, I got another hand up. Raghib,
Yes, Kelly,
sorry if
thanks.
I mispronounced it.
No problem. So, since we are talking about the pricing sheet, just wanted to get a clarity. So, Lay mentioned that there will be some follow-up sessions within the timeline of 3 to 6 months. So, as a vendor, should we also include the pricing of those follow-up sessions in case those are needed?
Absolutely, unless you plan on donating, yes, by all means. Or they could also be inclusive of your pricing. So if your pricing shows us that, in addition to the initial class, we'll do X amount of follow-up sessions or provide access to the online for a period of time, and that price will be as an option, by all means, show us what you have.
Got it. And coming back to my original question, so when it comes to providing the references, I think in the bid package there are two documents which are asking for the same information. First is attachment A, in that the prime has to list 3 references and a sub has to list one. And then there is another dedicated document in the bid package, and the title is reference form. So my question was that, do we need to also put the same information and create 4 copies of that form just to list the reference information?
No. The reference form is generated through the Oracle system, but we
Okay.
offer a questionnaire because it's a one-stop shop for us.
Yep.
So all of your information could be locked in on one document because it also lists your contact information, how many years your organization has been operating or when it was established. So if as long as you complete the questionnaire, we'll be happy. But if you just want to give us extra references, we'll accept those as well.
And can we just skip this document if we are putting all the information in attachment A?
I will not hold it against you if you do not provide that reference form.
Got it. Thanks for the clarification.
No problem. I believe I have, before I go to you, Sean, I have a question in the chat. Do you have target AI tools you would like to focus the content on based on what is currently available to the teams being trained? Also, is a CISSP certification satisfactory, or is HCISPP required for the security assessment?
Okay, so I will be honest and say that the second part of your question, Jennifer, we're gonna have to get to an answer through the answer portion in Oracle. As far as the target AI tools, there are not any specific AI tools that we're looking for. Kind of what we're looking for is how can we utilize the AI tools that are out there in our current field of public health. So there aren't specific tools that we're looking for. We're looking for how we could integrate AI into our day-to-day operations of our public health department.
And also, Jennifer, if you would kindly upload that question, because you're looking for a binding answer, I'm assuming. If you would upload that question into Oracle before the 12th at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'll definitely make sure it gets added to the list of questions that we have out there.
Perfect. Thank you.
Okay, I'm gonna take this other question before I jump over to you, Sean and DeLong. Is there a budget for this request? I always love those budget questions. No, we're not providing that information as far as what the budget is. You tell me how much it costs and we'll tell you if we can afford it. Moving on to Sean.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Sure can. Thank you.
All right, perfect. Sorry about that earlier. Had some issues. You kind of answered the question earlier with the type of AI, so that's good to know. That was like my main question I had. But kind of a follow-up, are you guys currently using like Copilot or Microsoft where you currently work?
Yeah, so that's a great question. Thank you for asking that question. So currently, we are not using any AI technology formally. Anything that's being utilized, I will tell you, is being utilized on an individual by individual basis. Mainly, Google Gemini, probably Chat GPT to some degree. Our data team may be using AI a little bit more. I would have to ask them, but we are not currently formally using any kind of AI technology throughout the department as a whole.
Okay, awesome. Thanks.
Mr. Dixon.
Hey everyone, quick question. Is there an estimate on the number of people that would be in the in-person trainings at all? And then also how many people would be in the virtual aspects of that as well?
Yes, so it would probably be about, and Alicia, I'm gonna look to you if you think I'm wrong. It's probably gonna be between 75 to 80 people, depending on if we do the directors and managers together, if we do them in two separate groups. And then for the virtual trainings, again, it would probably be about the same number of people. And again, it's gonna depend on if there's different courses basically for more executive level versus, middle management.
Got it.
And just so you're aware, we do have that question written. So that is one of the questions that we will be providing a binding response to.
Okay, cool.
Hey, any more questions? Going once? Zachary, please go forward.
Hi, can you hear us?
Yes, hello.
Hello. Thank you so much for being here to answer our questions. I have a quick question about the public health department. So from this Q&A, I kind of get a sense that there's IT, there's data, but can you give us an overview of the types of domains and responsibilities that these executives might cover, so that we kind of know the range of interests that people might have in these trainings?
Yeah, so I'm going to ask that you also submit that question formally to Kelly, but I can give you just a little bit of an overview of the health department I can kind of give you an overview of the department as a whole. So for executives leadership, I'll tell you that we're probably looking at data like we talked about, as well as streamlining administrative operations and financial tracking. We also have a clinical division. So how can we use AI to better chart, better serve our clinical programs, such as immunizations and reproductive health? We also have a community health services division who provides what we would consider to be more social-based services, such as WIC, lead blood testing, vision and hearing screenings for children. And so really what this is how can we take AI and use it to help us streamline our day-to-day operations is what I would say. We're not necessarily looking for specific domains. And Dr. Farr, Christina, if you have anything additional to add, please jump in here. But what I would say is that that's really what we're looking for is how can we use AI to better streamline our day-to-day operations within our department? And also, what are the pitfalls or risks of using AI as a public health department? Because like any other technology, there is also going to be risks associated with utilizing this and integrating it into our operations.
Thank you.
Thanks, Leah. No, I have nothing to add.
Thank you, Christina.
Okay. Anyone else? Going once?
There's another question in the chat.
Okay, thank you. Let's see. There's a couple. Okay. For in-person sessions and their space available at the site locations, or will we need to incorporate costs for off-site training locations for 75 to 80 people?
That's a great question. Thank you for asking that question. We will provide the space needed for the in-person training sessions. That will not be a requirement of the contractor.
Then we have, since our firm is not HIPAA certified, will the HIPAA certification of our subcontractor fulfill the requirement? Yes, as long as you have some type of explanation as to what part that subcontractor would play, how that partnership would look. We're not looking for you to provide all the services and then just look for somebody that's HIPAA compliant just in name only. They would have to actually be a part of the training process at some point. But that is definitely a question that, don't go by me. That's definitely a question you should upload in Oracle so that we can do a deeper dive in case I have misspoken on that one. How much time can staff realistically commit to AI training each week or month?
Yeah, so what I will say, that's another great question. Because of the scope of, the number of staff that would be included in the scope of work for this contract, what I would say is probably no more than 2 hours a week at most. And what I would recommend is we'd really like to see a hybrid of kind of those in-person virtual sessions, plus some maybe self-paced because of the number of people and just the day-to-day workings of the health department. We can't necessarily take everybody offline for 2 hours a week, every single week. So that's why we would really like to see that hybrid approach in the proposals, if possible.
We had some really great questions. We don't want to rush you. We want to make sure that we address as much as possible. Does anybody have any additional questions? Again, if you think of something after this session, by all means, please upload that question in the Oracle Messenger system. I monitor that on a regular basis daily. So we hope to have all questions answered by at least the 16th, which is next week. So next Tuesday. Okay, a couple other questions. Approximately how staff members will require training?
Yeah, so for our staff members that will be required training will be between 75 to 80. And it's a combination of middle management, higher management, directors, and executive leadership.
And where can I find this recording? It's on YouTube under the Office of Contracting and Procurement. There'll be dozens of those, but give us at least a couple of days before we can convert it and upload it, and share it onto YouTube. And then I'll also put a link to the YouTube when I upload the questions. Well, before that, I'm sorry. As soon as I'm able, I will upload that into Oracle so that you will have access to it and we can go back and review some of the responses that we got. But please keep in mind, the responses that we're given orally are unbinding. If you're looking for a binding response, we definitely need you to upload that question through the Oracle system, and we will respond with a binding answer in the form of an addendum. Did we have any additional questions? Okay. Well, I'd just like to thank you. We ran a little bit over, but we appreciate your time and attention, your participation. We look forward to reading all these wonderful proposals and responses. And with that, I will give you back the rest of your day. Thank you guys and have a wonderful one.
Take care.
Thank you.